the kid to stay or something, to stay in the U.S. and all this stuff. And there was people like government and all this stuff in Miami that were kind of corrupt that had to do with it. And then what happened with Al Gore and George Bush started going for presidency, there was little, because what happened was that kid, they eventually took him.
Yeah.
They took him, and that was, they were asking at that time, Al Gore was running for president and Bill Clinton was president. They were asking him, like, what are you thinking? He was kind of on the fence. He was two ways. But when he did that, when Bill Clinton did that he sent them back, that's when they were like, fuck Gore.
Yeah.
And then Bush, like nobody thought Bush was winning, but Bush started winning Florida. Bush's brother, Jeb Bush, was also like a governor in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And two other people that decided a whole bunch of stuff like that came with that vote were from Florida. So what happened was, this whole shit happened. Remember that Gore had won Florida, then they count the numbers. He didn't win Florida because they didn't count the numbers in like West Palm Beach, some other shit. Then they were recounting, and this went on like, I didn't even think about it. This went on for like over 30, 40 days. That this whole shit was happening. And while that was happening, because Gore kind of fought, like, because of that whole shit, the Cuban Americans, because it's, I think in Miami or in Florida, I think Miami, all the mayors have been like Cuban American.
Okay.
So they were like against it. So they like kind of, so when this whole thing happened, I think they went to Miami, because what happened was they went to Supreme Court, Al Gore, because he was ready to tell Bush you won.
Yeah.
Like at 2 or 3, he's like, nah. They said, don't give it to him. They haven't counted. So they went back. So they were like, we're going to wait till everything gets counted. So then they decided to make the whole state count.
Damn.
Because only those 3 places were fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was, I think Miami was like, yo, we're not counting it. Like, they were doing their own shit.
Yeah.
So like I said, some shit that you think is not real, but this affected the whole thing. So basically, Bush won because of 537 votes.
Damn.
But it breaks down the whole thing and how they influenced the whole shit against Gore because of that Ilion thing. Because when Ilion got taken, there was a lot of fighting within Miami. They were like doing like when George Foreman. There were a lot of protests. Freeman. What the fuck am I thinking?
You're talking about the riot.
George Floyd. Sorry, George Floyd with the rioting. So in Miami, they were doing the same thing. They were rioting when they took that kid back.
Okay.
And then what happened? So it's pretty interesting. It's an interesting documentary. I saw that. I saw this movie yesterday called Unhinged. Not too bad with what's his name? The guy from Gladiator. Russell Crowe.
Oh, that movie came out this year.
Yeah, so I watched that. It's basically a guy on road rage.
Yeah.
But it was crazy, man. But you wouldn't like, this guy took it over the top, bro. So I watched that yesterday with my girl. I've been watching another documentary based on the Comedy Store on Showtime. I watched this other movie, I think on HBO, with my girl called Witches.
I saw that. That's a remake.
Oh, it was?
There's an original from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the ending of this, the new one, they all stay as mouse.
Yeah.
In the remake, there's a good witch that turns the kid back. Because in the original, there's only one kid that's turned into a mouse. And I was looking at it, I was like, because me and my girl started watching it. Chris Rock is...
Yeah, he's a
narrator. And I'm looking at this movie, and I'm like, this has similarity to something, and I know the name. And my girl was like, no, this is a new movie. I was like, yeah, I know it's a new movie.
Yeah,
but for some reason, I've seen this movie. So I went into the Google, and I typed The Witches, and boom, came up. It was the original, and I showed her the trailer.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, shit, it is the same one. Because I remember when they told the little chubby kid, we give you these 6 candy bars if you come to this. And it's the same thing. The only thing is now is more special effects. It looks much better compared to the movie from the 90s. But I watched that movie with her.
So I watched that, The Witches. I watched...
That's a good kids movie.
Alone which Baron had told me. So I watched that last night, which wasn't too bad. It's based kind of like any kind of zombie apocalypse. One guy just wakes up the whole world, and then he's like trying to fight off zombies. You don't know, but that's the thing is like they didn't tell you what happened, but it was just him surviving and trying to like figure the shit out, see if his family's alive. So it was alright.
Okay.
I've been watching Ted Lasso because J-Lo had told me about it. Pretty funny. If you want to watch it, it's on Apple TV. It's basically...
Is that with...
Jason Sudeikis, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a little funny. It's basically a football player, and he's like an American, like those country coaches.
Yeah.
And they hire him in London to run a soccer team.
Oh, man.
So the lady does it. The owner, her husband, I guess, cheated on her. So on purpose, she hired a American football college coach. And Jason Sudeikis, he got famous. He went viral because his team won and he was doing the running man. So, and then when he's traveling to London, he don't really know shit about soccer.
Gotcha.
So him and his assistant, they're mad hillbilly-ish. And then the soccer players, they're straight London, so they're funny. Everything is, you fucking wanker. And every place he goes, you wanker. So then, so it's pretty funny. It's like 30 minutes long if you want to laugh. You also get to find out a little bit about like soccer, how soccer is big out there and all this stuff. I've been watching that, and let me see what else. I think that's about it. Other than that, I think that's been pretty much. Other than that, sports. Anything scary that you've watched?
Well, I watched half of The Shining. I started getting into The Exorcist, but my girl got scared. I saw the whole Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, with Johnny Depp. I saw half of the second one. Friday the 13th, the first one. And I always say the first 5 are the best. After that, it starts getting corny. Like Lee said, this show called Evil. It's on Netflix right now. It's originally a CBS show, but Netflix, you can watch the reruns there. It's pretty cool. It has like a if you guys know about Supernatural, the TV show, has a feeling to that. Not quite, but it's demons and devils, and it makes you think if they need the priest or a psychiatrist, because it's a guy who's trying to be a priest. He is the actor, the main character in Luke Cage. He was the main character in Luke Cage. And it's a pretty cool show. I ended it today. 13 episodes. Not bad. It could have been a much more suspense and scarier. The Evil show.
Yeah.
It could have been. Then I've been watching. I got back into. If you guys remember from last year's Halloween episodes, I was talking about this show called The House of Terror or The House of Horror. So it's like a 5-episode long, if you want to call it, documentary. They start breaking down certain scary or horror movies that they say are influential to other movies being made. So far, there's 3 episodes this season. There's 2 more, which is November 7th and then the following weekend, and that's on AMC. Salud. Pretty good. Gives you insight of certain horror movies that we've watched.
It's called House of Horrors?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to look for that.
Season 2's right now. If you guys didn't watch season 1, go back into it. It's pretty cool. Other than that, with TV shows, I've watched on Netflix this documentary called The 3 Deaths of Marisol. It's like this documentary in Mexico about a lady whose daughter got killed, and she's trying to find justice for her, and how the government didn't help her, and the way she got killed, and this and that. I forget what other show I watched on Netflix, but I have 2 more that I have on my list that I'm gonna start watching.
The only other shit I watched some of the Dave Letterman interviews.
Oh yeah,
I saw that with Dave Chappelle. I actually saw the Kim Kardashian
all
one.
4 I saw on that.
Saw a little bit of Robert Downey. I haven't watched the Lizzo one, but I've been watching that as well. The only other thing too I've been watching sometimes on Showtime, this thing called The Circus, which is basically every week is kind of like inside the NFL, but for politics. Even though I'm not into politics, but it just gives you like a background on how that shit is like when they're going on you know how everything is prepared and what's happening on the back end. So I've been watching that. And it's just like I've been home a lot these last few days, so it's just I've just been watching a lot of fucking TV shows. And Unsolved Mysteries, I watched that a little bit. Bad Boy Billionaires that Albert had talked about. The one thing we could talk about, and then I'll start it off, is based on the Borat movie. So that's something that I know came out last Friday.
What, Borat?
Yeah, I think last Thursday or Friday.
Did you like it?
I liked it. It's not as good as the first one, like you said, but I liked it. I mean, for me, it was funny. It
was hilarious.
And to be honest, if I would like to watch it again, probably with me, you, and Barry, and maybe smoking weed. Because I think when I watched it, it was me and my sister. My sister was not really paying attention so much, and then my girl came later. So it really was like, for me, there was certain things I found funny, but I know nobody else. So I would like to watch it just smoking weed or drinking.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to watch. That's the way I would like.
It was a funny movie, like when I text you, is the Borat movie, but it's not the first one, because the first one is like nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
And he was able to get away with more. Or this one, from the beginning, it's Borat, and then he had to get another disguise. But the good thing about it is that he had a fake daughter.
She was good.
Bottom, yeah. The whole controversies with the Giuliani towards the end, which he's trying to sue Borat. Even the daughter of the Jewish lady that hugged him. Because he was like, "Are you going to kill me?"
Yeah.
She tried to sue because they were saying her mother didn't know what she was getting into because of the whole Holocaust thing.
Yeah.
But he's Jewish.
Yeah, he's
Borat's
Jewish.
Yeah. And through the whole movie, I just found out he's speaking Hebrew. He's not even speaking Kazakhstan or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So it's like he's making fun of his own culture or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like me. I could make fun of, whatever, Dominicans or Colombian or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was a funny movie. Definitely made me crack up. My girl was watching it with me. She was cracking up. And we were going insane with it. But the first one is way better. Definitely I would like to watch it again, like you say, either high, drunk. And go from there. Definitely wanted to get into.
People. I know we talked about doing edibles and we haven't done it, and I wanted to probably do it like I like to do it on the even episodes. Like I always like to do on the even episodes, we get fucked up. So I didn't get a chance to do on this one. So hopefully, not even in the month of November, we got to figure it out somehow.
Yeah.
Depends, because Al's starting a new job, so. He's gonna be busy, so we'll try to figure it out. But yeah, I would definitely like to do one on an edible sometime in November.
So you remember going to any Halloween parties at your school?
Man, trying to I do and I don't.
And either elementary.
I remember.
I know in high school, no.
I went to pajama parties in high school.
Yeah, but we were older already there. But I'm talking about like in elementary school or like junior highs.
If I went, I don't really remember them, but I'm sure I went.
Because I remember it was the week before they used to make us write what we wanted to bring.
Yeah.
And it was either chips,
soda,
the cups, and the teacher will write down all Albert's bringing some chips for the class.